Thank you. So currently I'm working at Google, but most of the talk today is going to be about my work I did at Walt Disney Company. This is not what I was doing. I was actually working for Disney Research Division. But my core expertise and my history goes back to consumer electronic world. I spent 8 years working for Sony Corporation, and what we were doing at Sony was building gadgets, right? And that was all consumer electronic companies do. We build gadgets, making them more colorful, cheaper, faster, more interactive. What's happening right now, however, is that the whole world is becoming a gadget. The whole world becomes interactive, full of color, and full of technology. Software is everywhere. And that creates new and very exciting challenges for interaction design. How can you interact with the entire world? Not with the gadget in your hand, but with the whole world. And let's rephrase this question. How can we make the entire world interactive? The entire world, not the gadget, but the whole world around you. You know, the world is very big, so it's a difficult problem. Now, working for Disney make my life easier because I don't have to solve the whole world problem. I only have to solve a small part, which was Disney World. And we can, in the rest of my talk, I would like to show some of the ideas and some of the lessons we learned and technologies we created to approach this problem, solving the whole world interactivity problem. So lesson number one, we have to give senses to the world, and we have to give the senses non-invasively. If you put in software intelligence everywhere, it has to sense you as well. So this is a project we did at Disney. It's called To Share. And what it does, it's a very simple sensing system which takes everyday objects and makes them smart. In this case, we took a doorknob, and now you can recognize, with a single wire, it can recognize that you touch with one hand, with two hands. You create a circle around the doorknob, or you're grasping with the whole hand. Let's look again. A single wire. You connect this wire to our sensor, and this is doorknob we bought in a Home Depot or something like that. And now this doorknob becomes intelligent. It can know how you're touching it, and can respond accordingly. Now, it doesn't have to be. Can you go back, please, on the back slide? OK. Sorry. So it doesn't have to be a doorknob. It can be any object, any surface, such as a table. In this case, the table knows how you sit in front of it. Again, technology doesn't change. It's exactly the same sensor. With the one wire, this table becomes interactive and know how you're sitting in front of it. It can be also a living objects. For example, user's body itself. So now with the same sensor, with the same technology To Share, we know how the user holding his own hands and how the user holding his own body. It can recognize when you're grasping hands, or even when you're touching other parts of your body. It can also be other things, such as plants. By sticking electrodes into the plant, this plant will now can play music. Let's take a look at that. So as you slide your fingers on the orchid, you can see where you're touching the orchid. And these gestures can be remapped into various, into the music. It can also can remap it into the visuals, and it can sense proximity. So a very slight touch of the plant creates visual response. It's quite sensitive too. Or we can make a calendar out of plant. So I don't know why I would do this. I have no idea. But you can, and that's what's important. You can do this. And now by combining that technology with visuals, we can create stories. We can create immersive experiences where each plant would have a character and would reply in a certain way. So in this case, it's orchid. An orchid doesn't like to be touched. When you touch it too strongly, it starts hissing at you. it can be useful as well. Maybe your plants will become your friends the next time, and you're going to sit next to you on the couch as they're watching TV. Who knows? So let's talk about the second lesson we learned. First, the second lesson is that you have to generate power locally. It doesn't matter where you produce power. It can be safety of nuclear power stations, or it can be, power generated from the sun. But the question is, how are you going to deliver the power to Internet of Things? You can't wire everything. This is a project which we did at Disney, which explores how can you make interactive books by using very simple materials such as paper, polyester, and wires. What you can do, you can create very simple structures like this. And now by tapping on the button, you can create electrical signals. And those electrical signals can be remapped now into the flashing LEDs and then interactive books. You can turn on e-paper, you can turn on displays, turn them on and off. And you can create animations, such as this case, hello. You can create physical motion just by rubbing a piece of paper without any battery. Or you can control external devices. All of that is done by generating power locally without having to put a battery or connect the wires. And that's very important for the Internet of Things, very important for the future smart environments. You can also print or paint it. And now it can generate multiple, you can lay up multiple images, as many as you want, actually. Or it can create a very large, it can also work in large environment. You can scale to the size of the building. In this case, 2 people riding on the both sides, and it goes in and out depending on who is rubbing strongly. My third lesson is to make invisible displays. Today, interaction is mostly focused on visual information. We always see stuff. But what's going to happen is that when everything is covered display, how are we going to communicate information? We created a technology, haptic technology, which communicate through vertices. So it tracks positions of your hand as you move your hand around. It's called aerial. And that's how it looks like. So we create the vertices flying out of the device, and we can track position of the hand, so you can feel information in space by your hand. So now as you play a game, for example, you can feel it hitting your hand. And with this technology, you can start creating very complex experiences. And this is an example of that. So when you put your hand on the table, the butterflies come on your hand. And when you raise it up, you can feel the butterflies flapping wings on your hand, which is created by 2 haptic projectors. And you have to take butterfly to the window. And it flies to freedom. It was very nice experience that we showed it in multiple places, and people were really excited about it. So let me conclude. What we're talking right now is about kind of upgrading the world, right? We're trying to create technology which is going to turn our world into the world 2.0, right? The exciting point about it is we don't really know how it's going to look like and how it's going to feel like. We're just in the process of creating that. And we often assume it's going to look something like that. It's going to be more computing, more power, and so on. But maybe not. Maybe it's going to look like something completely different. Maybe it's going to look like that, where all the images are going to be removed and replaced with augmented reality markers. So you can, when you only see through glass, Google Glass, for example, some other display, you will see images on the world. Maybe that's how maybe that's how your room going to look like back in the house, devoted and barren, and everything computer generated, right? Or maybe oppositely, your world is going to look like that, where everything is haptic and moving all the time, actuated, everything is robotic, and information is communicated through electrical signals coming through your body, through the objects around you. So the question is, how the world 2.0 will look like? And that's the questions to you. Thank you.